fighting and trials and tribulations through the generations. On the center pole, you have the Ten Commandments, you notice about 2/3 of the way up. And on the bottom arms of this menorah, you have words in Hebrew which read, Lo b'chayil v'lo b'koach, im b'ruchi amar Hashem Tzvaot, a verse from the prophet Zechariah, which says, not with might, not with strength, but rather with my spirit, with the Spirit of God, says the Lord of hosts. So that's the prophecy and the hope and prayer that there will come a time very soon, even though you see guns and you see battles in the pictures here, but there will come a time soon when we won't have to rely on the weapon, but rather with the Spirit of God, with His Word and with His...
Smile on the sun.
She's finished?
פסיכולוגים שלא היו מוכנים לתת לי לכל הסביבותיהם, ולקח לי 3 שנים להוציא את זה.
Can you recharge this here? No. Oh, then keep it. But put it on lock because he's not here.
Standing up. Who are the children who want this?
The 2 kids over here, Mr. Rosenfeld first. 2 minutes ago.
All right.
Mr. Prime Minister. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, children, Sefer Torah was here, the project you know about. I'm not going to take your time because we're rushed. I really want to thank you on behalf of everybody for giving us the time, for making the opportunity available for us. You should go out the door, and I hand over to Mr. Jerry Rosenfeld, who's in charge of the Sefer Torah project from the Canadian side, and he'll introduce the people.
It's really a distinct pleasure. We arrived today from Toronto, Canada. We're at the initiative of Mizrahi of Canada. We had all of the day school and supplementary schools of Toronto commission the writing of the Sefer Torah. Thousands of students participated. Today we bring the Sefer Torah to you, Mr. Prime Minister, and on Thursday to Tzahal. We have with us President of Mizrahi of Canada, Mr. Khan, members of the Zelenik, Jelinek, and Markowitz families whose sponsorship made this project possible. My friends, Mr. Seifman, Cousin Motzen. We have the students, most important, the students and their parents who represent the thousands of students who have come.
How many students go to Jewish schools?
Over 10,000. In Toronto, is it Toronto?
Toronto.
One of the highest.
We come united with you from around the world, Mr. Prime Minister, in love of Torah Yisrael and Medinat Yisrael. Ner Hashem Nishmat Adam.
Third.
And I'm coming. This, of course, the Am is what comes united.
There's another one.
The land. Ner Hashem Nishmat Adam. The light, the spirit of Hashem resides in the souls of our people. Ner Mitzvah Torah, or Torah and our traditions provide the light that guide us in our daily life. The Torah, of course, is the bridge between the Yahalut, Hagolah, and Eretz Yisrael. Mr. Prime Minister, we know that you face tremendous challenges as you shoulder the awesome responsibility of leading our people, Am Yisrael, as you seek true peace with security for Am Yisrael here and around the world. Chazak ve'amatz, be strong. It has to be right for it to be good. We are with you. The rabbis teach us that when Hashem wanted to bestow merit upon His people, He gave them the Torah, the opportunity to live by the teachings of our tradition, and therefore find favor in His eyes. With the Torah, that the youth of Toronto bring today to share with you at Sahel in celebration of Israel's 50th. We pray that Hashem give you the strength with which to achieve that true peace. Hashem Oz Lamo Yiteinu, Hashem Yivarech V'Mol. I'd like now, please, to call upon two students from the Toronto contingent, Lauren Birnbaum and Shoshana Klein, and then Mr. Sid Jelenik on behalf of the family. Sid Jelenik.
For Rosh Hashanah, Ki Aliza Birnbaum.
For you, I'm putting on the
Under Mayatzin Ka'an, I'll pay a Tamidim in Toronto, Canada, Shetarmu Likat Tivat Sefer Torah Zeh. Project Zeh Nosar Ayadei Irgun Mizrachi Toronto. Kimat Kol Batei HaSefer Hen Hayaminim Vehen Shel Achar HaTzaharayim Yichol Hazranim Keish Achad Belev Echad Keot V'Semel La'achdut Am Yisrael V'Kehila Shelanu V'Chol Ha'olam. Anu Mevinim Chashivut Torah Yisrael Am Yisrael V'Golo V'Eretz Yisrael Ki Hem Chayinu V'Orech Yameinu V'Lachen Zchutenu Hayom V'Ha'avir Sefer Torah Zeh V'Tzahal Le'ilui Nishmat Hakdoshim Shenaflu B'Haganat Medinat Yisrael U'Lezecher Nishmat Simcha Zilanek U'Shmuel Jelinek Zichronam Livracha Shemishpachotehem Hen She'amdu Me'acharei HaProjekt Hazeh Me'Ha'atchala Yehi Ratzon Shenizkeh L'Yom She'anachnu B'Tzahal Ya'azru She'achinu B'Tzahal Ya'azru Yoter B'Tanach V'Torah Ma'asher B'Neshek B'She'iyeh L'Kol Am Yisrael Shalom Amiti Im Bitachon.
Mr. Prime Minister, my name is Shoshana Klein. We represent thousands of day schools and supplementary schools students in Toronto, Canada, who have commissioned the writing of the Sefer Torah. We came from different schools and different ideologies, but we come together united as one people with a common love of our state of Israel, and with appreciation for the importance of Torah in the life of the Jewish people. We present the Sefer Torah to the Israel Defense Forces in memory of all who fell defending the state of Israel, and in memory of Simcha Zilenik and Alexander Zikronam Livracha. We pray that God will soon bring the day when our people will be able to live in true peace with security, so that our soldiers may rely more on the Torah and less on weapons. We thank you for agreeing to meet us this afternoon.
Mr. Prime Minister, members of Mizrachi, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, on behalf of the Jelinek, Zelenik, Markowitz families, it is indeed an honor and a privilege to dedicate this Torah in memory of our fathers, Alex Jelinek and Simcha Jelinek, Zelenik, to the people and future generations of Israel. Being Israel's 50th anniversary makes this presentation very special and will be remembered fondly by all members of the family. I was told not to get political, but I just want to tell you to keep up the good work.
Well, thank you very much to the families, to the children that are here. And I'm delighted to receive this Sefer Torah and to pass it on to the soldiers of Israel. They are, as you know, fighting with, as you said, weapons, but the most important weapon is this. This is our faith, our traditions, our belief in the justice of our cause. That is our real weapon. thank you for strengthening me. Thank you very much.
Can we have a quick photograph please, with the Prime
We have to
Minister?
do something for the supper.
Man. This is the outskirts of Eureka. Here. You can see the place is quite green. And farther away, spring, a lot of water. Yeah, these are all Arab houses. Of course, Jericho is an Arab city. These are all... And the other side, the hills of Jordan. Okay. Now, what's in the middle are areas which are being cultivated both by us and the Jordanians. But the fence that you see here, with the white road going next to it, is the border. That's the border, and we can't go across it. But the people who do go across it every day are the people who cultivate the area, the people from the kibbutzim around here, or the moshavim, the Jewish settlements around here. They go over on the road, and they have permits to cultivate the areas. Now, not around here, but in other places, some places, along the Arava Valley especially, some of the areas were returned officially to Jordan, but we continue to cultivate them. So in some places, people go over the border and over the Jordanian guards in order to cultivate. The land now belongs to Jordan, but it's being cultivated. It's part of the peace treaty. The matter of money, I don't think we're paying for it now. Sort of leasing, long-term lease, yeah. So
I think were it not for that, the old city may not have come back into our hands. That whole area was part of the war with Jordan, and so the relations continue now. When we made a peace with Jordan, that peace is a real peace, and the relationships across the border.
I just wanted to talk briefly about 40 years ago when I was at Fader. We had a little blue box on the teacher's desk, and every day we were asked to put a couple of pennies in the box, and we were all given a certificate with a tree with leaves on it, and every time you put a couple of pennies in, you got a stamp that you would lick and you would put it on a leaf. With the, sorry?
We're the same age.
The same age, remember that? And when all the leaves were filled up on the tree, it meant that the tree was going to be planted in your name. And it took about $1 for all the leaves to be filled up and to get a tree. And it took about a year. In those days, I didn't get a big allowance. It took about a year for me to get enough leaves to plant a tree. And I remember getting my first ever certificate saying that a tree had been planted in my name and my honor in Israel. And all I could do was look at a map of Israel and see somewhere off on the other side of the universe where Israel was. And for me, it's very exciting to be here because That was many years ago, and this is my first ever trip to Israel. And I was thanking the Zelenik and Jelinek family for making this possible. Because without them, my son wouldn't be here, and without my son being here, I wouldn't be here. So it's very exciting for me to be here, to see maybe where my own tree got planted, and I hope that everybody else will get to plant lots of trees too, and make that continue with that tradition. So.
And now we have someone from the younger generation, under 29-year-old.
I have a similar experience growing up. Went to elementary school 8 times school. We also had I'm not sure if it was the blue box, but I know that they went around school collecting money for JNF, and each day we'd have to go around the houses and try to collect money or give our own money. And I remember also that when I was bar mitzvah, my mother donated money, and I got a tree plant for my name. So she told me now on the trip, when I come here, I should look for a tree that has my name on it. I was also asked to speak about the importance of JNF, and I just heard in the past that JNF really unites all the Jews, because regardless of your religious, regardless of whether you're Orthodox or Reform or conservative, it really unites everyone together, because everyone wants the betterment of the Jewish nation and the Jewish land, so it really unifies the people at once.
And plant a tree center. Now, as I said, trees are planted all over the country. But once the winter planting season is over, and we have a very short planting season, it's just from the middle that they need to sustain them throughout the dry summer. I don't know what it looks like. We're leaving the
It is.
The red lights are on.
Well, I have camera and I have recording.
Taking off the plastic.
Aliza, you pick up your hat. I want to see that pretty face. It said working the land. See what we put them to work in Israel. It's very clear, you're all a bunch of farmers.
Thank you, Ariel.
You press the red button. With your hand. Okay, we did it.
Planting trees for Karen Kayemet.
There's a flag down. Flag in there?
Oh, yeah.
Start putting it in.
How about holding up one of those shovels? Show that you really...
You shut off the camera? Okay, so now you're on.
I know.
Oh dear. Okay, now start.
The Kinneret and the Golan Heights.
Oh, nice one.
Why didn't you bring that camera I gave you? Remember that camera I gave you?
Yeah.
And this is Tiberia. So beautiful.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Okay, you want to take pictures first?
Yeah.
Okay, 5 minutes for pictures. Now I'll give you more time later. Yeah. Just be careful, please.
Yeah. Did you take a picture? Here's Tiberia again.
It helps when you put it onto camera. You did. Nice.
I did.
part of the camera.
What's the soup? Yeah.
What? What kind of soup is that? I like golf too.
Thanks, Abby. We're in the Pagoda restaurant, Bavaria, but beautiful view. Restaurant that is on the Sea of Galilee. And Bavaria is out this window. And here comes the beautiful Galilee. We are overlooking
And the Golan Heights. The Golan Heights are at the back.
the Golan Heights right there. And you can see all this from the view of the restaurant, which is just beautiful. That's a cruise boat we might be going on later. And that. Here we are, on the cruise ship. We're going to take off to tour the lake Kinneret. It's 8 o'clock at night.
اوعى تتدندلي فيك يلا اقعدي شوفي
Gary Rosenfield, Jack, and we're going out there soon.
Up in the north down to the Dead Sea, except that most of the water is kept in the Kinneret, in the Sea of Galilee, by a dam. So the amount of flow here is probably about 1/10 of the Don on a dry day. Okay? Like, there's almost no water here now. But when the children of Israel crossed, in those days there was no dam, there was a proper river here. So that's why they needed to, Joshua asked for it to be split apart. From the last chapter of the Torah, since you guys donated the Torah, I'll quote you something from the last chapter. I'll just read the English because it'll be easier that way.
To the left.
And besides, I love these old English
That's Jericho.
And Moshe went up from the plains of Moab unto the mountain of Nebo. Har Nebo is across that way, and on a clear day, today's not so clear, but on a clear day, if you have binoculars, you can see a big black wooden cross on Har Nebo, because there's a monastery up there, built many centuries ago. Okay. Rosh HaPisgah, to the top of the mountain, that is over against Jericho. In other words, opposite Jericho. There's Jericho down there, so it's opposite on the other side. And the Lord showed him all the land of Gilad and Ad to Dan. Gilad is the area in those mountains on the other side, further north. Dan's way up at the north end of Israel. Okay, shows him that. In other words, Moshe's facing this way. He's on those mountains there, facing this way, looking at the land of Israel that he's not allowed to come into. And he's over there, and he's facing, like, the direction I'm facing. You're sort of like getting the opposite view. By the way, this side is not as high as the other side. You can see much further from the mountains on the other side. Okay, next. And all of Naphtali, the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and the land of Judah, unto the utmost sea. Naphtali's in what today we call the Galil. Ephraim and Manasseh are what we call Shomron, and part of Manasseh, correct. And Judah is this area, basically over here.
Technically, by the way, we're probably in the area of Binyamin, but Binyamin had a very small, narrow shevet, so exactly where the boundaries and that, but technically right here we're probably in Binyamin. Next, pasuk, and then he showed him the south. What is the word used for the south here?
Negev.
Okay. And the plain. What plain? What big plain do you see? Well, that. So it says the plain, and then it specifies the valley of Jericho, the city of dates. Here at Marim. There's a date palm right here. This is a very young one. No dates on it. But if you look further down, the one up, the next tree over, it's a date palm, has little dates coming out from the top. And we'll see more date palms as we travel along. So that's it. In other words, basically, God shows them the whole country. It's higher over there. I've been there. I stood on the top on a very clear day. You still can't see all of those states. Okay? Now, did any of you guys see Star Trek? The tree itself looks very similar. Yeah. Probably there's a relationship between the two crews, but I'm not a botanist.
What do you want to write out here?
And Midbar Yehuda. Again?
Okay.
We are in Mitzpeh Yericho. All this was Mitzpeh Yericho. And this is the shul.
What was the mountain called?
Arnavo. Yeah, I think
Are you
so.
filming this?
Yeah.
You hearing me?
Say hi.
Hi.
This is the side of the shul.
I'm not going to take pictures in here. I'll just take some sound with this? I don't even know. Yes, there's a sound. We're climbing Masada the easy way. It's Tuesday, May the 12th, 1998. Did you mention that's the Dead Sea over there?
Okay, that's the Dead Sea over there.
The cable car here last time? I don't remember.
I got it.
Is the cable going down? Walk up. Film down below there.
First of all, we're going to start with a brief history lesson. Very brief. Let's see. Rosh Hashanah. The period when Herod, who was the king of the Judean state, puts on top of Masada most of the buildings that you see. Not everybody's in. Almost everybody's in. We'll wait one more minute. Anne, are you in?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You have to realize, first of all, this was all man-made. Using, in those days, not electronic drills or anything like that. You're using hammer and chisel to chisel out this whole thing. Bats. No, not bats, just some birds. Hammer and chisel. Okay? So, first of all, that's how it was made. Second of all, you notice there's plaster on the walls.
And in most cases, there's 2 or 3 levels of plaster. The plaster is to keep the water in. It's to make it waterproof. This was built by Herod.
Yeah. That's got
Top part we simply rebuilt, first of all, using the same techniques they built the bottom. The stones were simply found, fallen down on the ground. Was there a roof to the storeroom?
No. Maybe.
Of course. Why is there no roof? What would the roofs?
You take me now.
Sure. I mean, plaster isn't going to last, but if you see it also there on the outside, they plastered the outsides as well as the interior. So the buildings look nice. They were smooth, they didn't even be painted. And for example, in this courtyard,
Forgive me, we lost a couple of the
okay. In this courtyard, you'll notice a mosaic floor. The remains of a mosaic floor over here. Okay, nice simple geometric shape. It obviously covered the entire courtyard, although all that remains is this section over here. Okay, so now, first of all, let's see. Come with us. Almost right. But an ancient Roman bathhouse isn't mainly for bathing. It's for other
recreation.
things as well. So let's go inside and we'll see some of the bathhouse. Every bathhouse had to have 3 rooms. It had to have a frigidarium, a tepidarium, and a scaldarium. Now let's take a guess. What was in the frigidarium? Cold. Frigid, cold. What's in the scaldarium?
Hot.
Hot, as in scalding hot. What's in the tepidarium?
Temperate.
Temperate, exactly. Tepid is temperate. Okay. 3 rooms, 3 different temperatures. How they did it, we'll explain as we get there. This room was probably originally just a room that you came in and changed out of your clothing because you usually went into the bathhouse in your birthday suit. Now, you notice the nice frescoes on the wall. Frescoes when you paint into fresh plaster while it's still wet. These are original. You'll also notice the nice triangular shaped floor. If you look in the corners, you see black triangles and pink triangles. Guys, how do you pay a Roman legionnaire? Remember the Romans captured this place in the 3rd period. At the end of the revolt, they finally do get up to the top here. To the nearest town, to the guy who made the floors, and they'd sell it to him. Plain and simple. This is not a cistern. What is this? It's for water, but not for a cistern. No, it's a big building period number 2. Herod, Club Med. Think of the Club Med drugs. You know, he's got that visiting Senator McCarthy here, and he wants to take him to the bathhouse, because that's a big thing in Roman life. You go into a bathhouse, and you do what you do in a bathhouse. But in period number 3, you've got 967 men, women, and children on top of Masada, at least according to Josephus. That many people need all sorts of services. They need to subdivide rooms, they need to use things. They built, using pillars, this bench. Why do you need a bench? To sit down, to change, to be comfortable. The cold water. Second, you came into this room. After you've been in there for a while, this is the tepidarium, because it's in between the hot room and the cold room. This room is tepid. Just here in between. And it also doesn't, your body doesn't go into shock from going from the cold to hot. Right. And are you the last one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys, where was floor level? Well, the floor level was where we're standing, and there's remains of the floor. It was the same triangular shaped floor like you saw in the other entrance room. Well, what's underneath the floor? Well, obviously a bunch of pillars. Why? To hold up the floor. Okay, but why do you have all the spaces between the pillars?
For water, to make it hot.
To make it hot. See where the plexiglass opening is over there? Underneath the floor, they would shove in straw, any sort of thing that's combustible, twigs, wood, whatever, underneath this way and that way, and then they put a match. They didn't have matches. Okay, so they got hot somehow.
Yeah, whatever. And they got it burning, and then the floor got very hot. So of course you didn't walk in here very warm. Period number 3 in the time of the Great Revolt.
Jews.
Jews. Who are we revolting against?
Rome.
Romans, the bad guys. Okay. Why are we revolting? Basically, the main reason we're revolting at that point in time, according to history, is money. The Romans had been overtaxing us. And they kept raising the taxes and raising the taxes. And also, we were used to having independence, and we were losing it each year more and more. So guys, in about the year 66, we revolt against Rome. In the year 70, the Romans come into Jerusalem and destroy the Beit HaMikdash and the city of Jerusalem. In the year... Roman what? Yes, we'll point it out in a minute. Hold on. Very good. Okay, John, what happens up here? When the Jews come up here and it's the last place fighting against the Romans. They fight them, that is correct. But why do they come up here? How?
Down there somewhere.
Well, you see the buses? Do you see the buses?
Yeah.
Near the round circle. You see the round circle? Yeah. And you see the square thing just next to the circle. Yeah. That's the walls of a Roman siege camp. That's been rebuilt. Now, look to the left, out over here, as Laser quite correctly pointed out, another Roman siege camp. Do you see it? No. Only not reconstructed. See the square thing?
Where? There's like writing in the middle.
Okay, that's not writing. That's little walls that they had for structures that they built. Now, who can see another siege camp in that direction, much larger?
Yeah, over there beside the parking lot.
Besides the big parking lot where the buses are and the palm trees in the distance, between that and the closer thing, there's a huge siege camp, also in a square shape. Wait, that's all original. Yeah, that's original Roman siege camps from 2,000 years ago. Now wait, now the Romans don't leave a pile of rocks now, but it used to be a wall. And if you look on the wall, every roughly 50 meters, there's a little mound. It almost looks like a pitcher's mound. Only it wasn't a pitcher's mound. What was it?
A tower.
A guard tower. Exactly. And who's in the guard tower 24 hours a day? A Roman legionnaire. So there was no way for the people up here to escape.
Or for anybody to help them.
Or for anybody to bring supplies in. That's the idea. Cut them off. No food. It didn't always work. Using the snake path, they climbed down, and they were able to smuggle in supplies. They surrendered? No, they did not surrender. There's a couple, they're all around the place here. Okay, but we're not dealing with the birds as much as the other things. Although Tristan starling was discovered in the 1800s by a guy named
Tristan.
Not starling, Tristan, who discovered it in this area. Okay. This is the 3-level northern palace built by Herod. Most of the construction, like I said, is from the second period, Herod the Great. Okay.
Oh, you got to see this.
Yeah, you can't sit down to see it. You have to stand over here to see it. Even, who is it, Anne's got the height problem?
Even I'm looking.
Even you're looking, right? Because there's something right below you.
Yes.
There used to be, by the way, guys, a staircase from here to get down to the next level and to get down to the bottom level. That staircase fell apart, so we built something that starts over in that direction and goes down, and you can see it on the left side there, part of the staircase. We have some beautiful frescoes on the walls down there, too, similar to what we saw in the bathhouse, okay? Up here, you've got some small rooms. There's a mosaic floor over there that's being preserved now a little bit. Nothing very fancy. What is this whole unit?
Oh.
Okay, we've got somebody talking over there, so let's maybe move just together over here. What is this unit? Well, it's called the Northern Palace. Who calls it that?
Herod.
Herod. No.
Joking.
Who's the guy who gives us the records that Herod lived here? This was his. Okay? In other words, these quarters over here would have served Herod. He would have had maybe these rooms to use and a multi-story structure. There's a different theory, however, that goes along the lines of what I told you already about the Club Med in the Middle East concept. Right? Now, why? Okay. Jerusalem's that away. Way off. Senator McCarthy and General Schwarzkopf came to visit their friend Herod in Jerusalem. That's the capital. Now, what happens? He says, you know what? I want to show you guys a good time. Takes them for a 3-4, well, more than 3-4 hours, a 6-7 hour ride on donkeys, camels, or whatever through the desert. Now, Herod's always had mixed press. Even today, there's some people who love him, some people... And they've been reading, you know, they read the papers in Rome. They know what the press reports about Herod are. Is he crazy or isn't he crazy? Now, the guy's taken him for a 6-7 hour ride in the desert. At this point, they think he's brought us here to kill us, right? And then all of a sudden, they come down that pathway through those mountains. You'll notice that this side, it's a little bit less steep, the access to Masada. They come down that side, and he sees on top of Masada, how did Josephus describe it?
Northern
trees,
trees.
Right? Sees an oasis. They come right up to Masada, he takes them and he drops them in the villa that we saw, the visitors' quarters. Not so bad. Takes them over to the bathhouse, which is one of the most important things in ancient Roman life, and he does the whole bathhouse routine. Hey, this guy isn't so bad. Now he takes him over here, sits him down on a nice table. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The place is starting to get shaded, especially down there. It's shaded by the mountain itself. So he sits him either here or on the round circle. Beautiful view, guys. You can't beat the view here, right? Oh, the water's beautiful. Everything's beautiful. You see the nature reserve of En-Gedi up there is the dark spot in the distance along the coast. And what do? They have their martinis shaken, not stirred. They, sip their daiquiris or whatever, and they have a good time. And then they go down to the next floor. On the round floor, they probably have the equivalent of round pool, right? You know, like pools usually it's square. I don't know. They had something down on each floor. Get to the bottom floor. What's the right side of that bottom level, the rectangular level? A mini bathhouse, a little tiny one. So that when they got down there, and it's now 5 o'clock, Senator McCarthy, so what's he going to do? He's going to take, he just claps his hands, the servants light up the fire, and they've got a mini one, just enough for the senator and the general and Herod himself to go into. And that's the idea of the complex. Okay? Now the guy doesn't look so crazy. Let's look down. You'll also notice down at the bottom in the valley a thing that looks like a diamond. That's another siege camp. Then you notice the siege walls leading into it. The siege wall leads out it. Comes up, and look at the big siege camp. Okay, you see the huge siege camp there? That was General Silva, the Roman general who besieged Masada. So that's his camp. You notice there's a little wall inside it, right? Who do you think was in that area? The general himself, of course. That's the high boss. I'm serious. Huge thing.
Jack, you walk that way.
Okay, to get that up here, how do you get it up? There are no helicopters in the Roman period. Okay, you have horses pull it, or you have people push it, or whatever. But how do you get it up? You can't helicopter it up. The Roman ramp is over there to the left. You might see the guardrail. That's the start of the area of the Roman ramp, which they built to get up to the top. And the reason they needed a ramp that big is because they wanted to get one of those up. Now, wait a minute, guys. If the roofs of the houses didn't last 2,000 years, how did the piece of Roman siege equipment last?
Metal.
Because the piece of Roman siege equipment was built around 1992 when they made a made-for-TV movie about Masada. Josephus worked, and then copied over here on the booklet on Masada. How do we have it?
He faxed it to Josephus.
They faxed it to Josephus. Okay, the fax wasn't invented yet, so the way it works like this, guys, is as follows. Let's put it this way. Allegedly, the story gets to Josephus by one way or another. We'll get to that in a minute. But Professor Hanan Eshel at Bar-Ilan University will test writing. Maybe the punchline, in other words, what he's telling the people to do, what Ben Yair is telling them in this fancy oration, was in fact said by Ben Yair. But he said the beautiful oratory, the beautiful speech, this long Megillah that we have here, is 99% Josephus.
Why would Josephus do that?
He had reasons. We'll get to that in a minute.
Also, they left a scroll.
Somebody else. The Romans have built the ramp, guys, and that piece of big wheeled siege equipment is about to come up with its battering ram to smash the walls of Masada and break it. There's already been a fight, and we're pretty close. It's, they're going to be in any second. So he gathers them together at night and he says the following. Brave and loyal from renovations. It was built by Herod. It was later renovated probably either after Herod, maybe by people in period number 3. Now, you'll notice the black line is above your head, so this is original, but the plaster is new. It's sort of like finished the way it was in the corner there. But they definitely sat like this. All ancient Batei Knesset, all ancient synagogues, you sat around. You did not sit in rows facing one direction. All the archaeological evidence always was sitting around like this. In the little room over there where the selling things, we're going to go in. They found the remains of a chapter of Ezekiel under the floor. The chapter that deals with the vision of the dry bones, which is also a prophetic reading that we read, a Torah that we read once a year. That was found under the floor there. That leads, amongst other things, to the conclusion of a Bet Knesset. What does Knesset mean? When we use the term synagogue, in Hebrew it's Bet Knesset. What is Knesset is assembly or gathering, like the Knesset, the parliament of Israel. Originally it was for that purpose more than for any prayer purpose. Remember, this building exists when the Bet HaMikdash, the temple, still exists in Jerusalem. There's no problem to go bring a sacrifice if you want to go bring a sacrifice. But already synagogues started, according to Jewish history and tradition, at the time of the first exile in Babylon. When the Jews came back, not all Jews came back to Israel in the Second Temple period. A lot of them were still living in the diaspora, so they continued the concept of prayers and gathering and the like. Some Jews in Israel did it as well, and there's evidence of that, lots of archaeological evidence to synagogues in Israel. Gathering, mainly saying what would be the prayers, the main prayer. Psalms, the Hilim, which if you look in our prayer book, that's still not one of the main components of prayer. The only other thing that we have is Shema and Shemona Esrei, which is definitely a later development. Amidah, Shemona Esrei. So that's basically what the idea is. And a lot of people will say, which direction should we face? This is the direction we have. Actually, Jerusalem is put on an angle here. There's no concept of facing a direction here yet. Because Jerusalem exists. That's first of all. Second of all, there's another reason in Israel they have a concept of depending on what tribe you were in, what Shevet, you faced the direction that was the general direction from that tribe. If you were, for example, in the tribe of Ephraim, you would face south. But it would be a due south. It wouldn't make a difference if Jerusalem was on an angle this way or if it was on an angle that way. You would just face south because Jerusalem was to the south. So this one could be along those lines too. Any questions? Yes, Anne?
Could you place this? Emma. Let's go. Get the pillars in front of you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a parent.
Just $5. That's not enough. But we only have to give $5 for a letter.
Oh, to buy the Torah. Toronto. Oh.
We had 2 motorcycles. Everywhere. But no.
I gotta tell you, I love to hear you say this, all this stuff, and I can really relate to it because I'm involved in Scouts. I'm constantly training on the goodwill of Scouts to get those kinds of things for our group. When we go on trips, traveling, bargaining with people to get lower prices. I say it's for kids, the Scouts. You know what, it works the same way. People hated the personality of the trip.
He carved the hotel.
Week before, we stayed in the morning. 2 days before the show. Everything orchestrated. It's a lot of work. Try to run a school at the same time.
All right.
This project?
Like that, it's easy to hide a little baby. If you hide in bulrushes, you can't hide a little baby. The only part about that story that's correct is the first 4 letters.
What was your name? Our cow was the best cow. Ben Gurion. You had Ben Gurion, yeah?
Lots of bar mitzvah.
All the arches we're going to see today throughout the tour, all the arches are not original from the time of Herod, about 2,000 years ago, but they're not from our time as yet. They're not from the 20th century. Those arches go back about 800 years ago. Those arches go back to the year 1250. Who came here in 1250? Muslims. Muslims by the name of, anybody can guess, starting with an M?
Rhodian tables and chairs.
There was a passage made by
Okay, go ahead and sit down. Like, only one person was allowed to go in, which was exactly the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, and only one specific day. Not whenever he wanted, and which day it was, Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year. Now the wall, eastern wall, and that's the northern wall. Basically, we are going from south to north alongside the western wall. But once we go inside the mud hole, let's talk about the first temple. The first temple, only one gate from the western wall inside the temple. During Herod, he enlarged it. He's adding 3 more gates. During the Herodian time, there are 4 gates to go from the west to the temple. The 4 gates are 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the names of the gates are Robinson Gate, Barclays, Wilson, not NBA. Okay? Robinson, Barclays, Wilson, and Warren. Why those names? Because they were the archaeologists who came over here about 100 years ago and found those names. The 2 special, the 2 main famous ones are Charles Warren, Charles Wilson, 2 British archaeologists. Okay? But now I want to talk to you about the Western Wall itself. That's the praying area, right over here. The lights, and that's where we pray today. How come we pray over here and not in the other place? Because that's the closest place to the temple, to the Holy of Holies, and that's why we pray over here and not in a different place. Now, I'll take down the valley, and now another question. Remember I told you the whole length of the Western Wall is 1,500 feet. Okay. So how come from the outside you only see the prayer? Where is the rest? Destroyed? Underground. Exactly. Why? Because of the Mamelukes who came over here, as I told you. The Dome of the Rock, the White Building. The valley, right over here. That's Mount Zion, today the Jewish border. They don't want to live down here as far as Mount Zion. They want to live as high and as close as possible. So they fill the whole valley with arches, those arches. And on top of those arches, they build a city. And then they say, hey, let's be lazy. Let's use the Western Wall as one of the walls of our house. And look what they did to the Western Wall. They cover the Western Wall with their house, giving us what we have today. The praying area, the men's section, the women's section. And of course, in those days, the Mama was sitting, nowadays the Muslim quarter. This is the Muslim quarter, that's the top layer of our cake. Tabas. Let's move this way. I'm going to show you where we're sitting. We are sitting right over here. You see the flashlight? That's where we are. But as I told you, we still have to go down. More layers of the western wall. We're going to be about 30 feet down. So let's move this layer also. Go away. Thank you. And we'll be right up here, about 30, 40 feet underneath the Muslim quarter, walking alongside the western wall. How are we going to go? Do you see this arch over here, this orange arch? It's this one in front of you. And if you follow the lights, you're going to see the path. We're going to walk all the way until the end of the whole original western wall. One more thing before we go. I want to talk to you about the bedrock of Temple Mount. The bedrock of Mount Moriah was in the south, very low, in the north, very high. Which means to continue the tour, we have to climb a mountain, right? But we're not going to do it because we're too lazy. So therefore we built a redoubt, a special path. We're going to walk nice and easy, but at some point in there we're going to intervene, we're going to meet the bedrock. The slopes of the bedrock of the mountain comes out where we're going to walk, and you can actually see and touch Temple Mount. Mount Moriah, the same mountain which on top of it was the first and the second temple. You have to remember till the end of the whole original wall, but here I want to show you something. How many else? I want you to pick a 50-pound stone. Everybody stay there.
Look at the ktitlich in the wall. People got it.
Now, Shoshana, beware of the snakes. Now, look where Shoshana is standing, and look where I'm standing. This is one stone.
This is one what?
One stone. This whole piece right over here, it's one stone. That's the biggest Herodian stone you're going to see ever in your whole life. The measurement, you can come back, it's not going to fall. The measurement of the stone, the length, 45 feet, the height was, now you see a chisel, the height was 14 feet, the depth, we measure with the radar, the depth is 14 feet, 14 feet, and the weight about 570 tons. And the question everybody want to ask is, how they moved it? Exactly, I wasn't there to help. And the answer is, remember the bedrock that we saw on the model? The bedrock was in the south very low, in the north very down. That's one of the options. Okay, nobody knows exactly how.
Why would they take one huge one just for this place?
Oh, because the Jews as the story. Okay, let's go. Right now we can...
This is all part of... Oh, careful, careful.
Yes, we're still walking the western wall. And above us is the Mount City. We are walking through the cisterns, the storage areas of the Mount.
45 feet long. 14 feet.
Exactly. Come closer. Right now, we're standing as close as possible to the Holy of Holies. This is the closest point to the Holy of Holies, which means if I'll take the stones apart and we'll just keep walking straight ahead, about 50 feet, and then we'll climb up to ground level as we were in the beginning, about 20 feet, we'll be inside the Dome of the Rock today, but to our topic, I'm talking about the temple. Guys, 50 feet from here is the Holy of Holies. Imagine if you had a mirror over here, mirror wall. Everybody can see 50 feet from here. We can see how the high priest was working, all what he did in Yom Kippur, the holiest day. You can see how people sacrificed in those days. What's the dome? What's the temple? Or inside the Holy of Holies is the foundation rock. What's the foundation rock? It's the rock that from that rock the whole Jewish world was founded, developed. I'm sure we saw pictures of the binding of Isaac, 50 feet from here.
If it's so important that we see all this, how do
Why
we
can't we
just
come?
take it down?
What?
Why don't they just take this wall down? And
Very good question. If we had an easy answer, we'll do it. It's politics. You're right.
So they won't let us do the politics.
Basically, that's the main reason.
but I think it's also important to know that according to tradition, it's a sur. One is not allowed to go into that part where the Beit HaMikdash is until it's rebuilt.
Exactly. Inside the Holy of Holies in this whole area, yeah, take it.
Good reason.
So those men are walking our way, but you can see the length of this whole tunnel. Right now we're going to go until the end of this tunnel. To your right, the western wall, above us, the mountain corner, and that's all that's rebuilt. From 67 to support the houses, it's not collapsing because we took everything out, so you have to support those houses. By the way, right now you're inside the cistern. You see on top the opening of the cistern. Until 67, people with the buckets came here to the water and up inside their house. Okay, let's go over there. Right now we are standing, this is the original street. I'm talking about the street from 2,000 years ago. We're standing on the original stones, the Herodian street, the main street that went from the south to the north. We found only that section. Right now we're standing on the original street we walked about 2,000 years ago. Also these stones are original to continue the street, but something is stopping it. What is this? This is the bedrock. That's the slopes of the mountain. Here, Herod quarried it. Here, not. What happened? Herod died. And as soon as he died, the war done. But, no, that's original. The bedrock, that's how it was. The slopes of the mountain. Now, okay, right now we're going to go inside the new tunnel we found about, we opened it last year. And if you heard about it, it caused all the problems and everything. Right now we're going to go inside this tunnel. That's a tunnel that we found from the time of the Hashmonean people. The Hashmonean people, the Maccabees, are Jewish people that were here about 200 years before. So I'm talking about 2,200 years ago. They built the tunnel to lead water, to bring water from the north all the way to the back of the temple. And that's why we call it the Hashmonean tunnel, or the Hashmonean aqueduct, that led the water from the north all the way to the back of the temple. Right now we're going to go inside. It's amazing. It's in between two mountains. That's the Grand Canyon of Israel over here. Okay, we're going to go outside then you continue to what you're doing is very important.
Why was it so controversial?
Because going outside the mountain of water inside to their houses. No. We just passed the dome of the rock right over there. And the tower is over here. No.
Mommy, take a picture of this room.
Wow, this is oh God.
Now guys, if this is the tunnel, and in the tunnel there's water, in this place on, we found water, standing water. So right now, you're going to go on a bridge we built, glass bridge, and underneath you, you're going to see the water. It's a very safe bridge. Only 2 people fell so far, so the statistics are not that bad. No, I'm kidding. Let's go and look down and see the water. It's amazing.
You don't see it?
Take a picture.
It's so dirty through the glass, I don't think it's going to come out. Wow.
This is a swimming pool. Okay, I hope everybody saw the water. The water came from here. You see, that's a pool, but that's only a portion of the pool. Right now we are adding onto the pool, and the rest of the pool is behind that wall. Okay? And from that pool, they built the aqueduct that will lead the water all the way to the back of the temple. Now, before we go outside, one more thing. Our main plan was, from the bridge to go outside to the Mazel Water was from that door. Okay? But that door caused a small problem, because this door led into a Muslim house. And I don't know why he didn't want us to go inside. Maybe they were giving us coffee or something. So anyhow,
You could have paid him more.
exactly. So what we're going to do right now for the next 20 seconds, walking outside, took us about 3 years to build it. We just dug out through the mountain and built this new exit that also cost him riots. And right now we're going to go all the way back to the Jewish quarter.
So this was the one that goes by.
Yeah, that's why we couldn't do anything.
This was never going to happen.
Never going to
Is there an attempt to buy this house?
Yeah. We almost bought it, but the Malcolm Watt, the autonomous government over here, told him, if you take the money, we'll take your soul. So I said, okay, so
They were told anybody who sold certain property to Jews,
they will kill
them in the last 2 years, and the house actually happened.
There
have been several people who sold, and then ended up.
Okay, first of all, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very much. I know it's short, so next time you only want, you have to come again and I'll give you a longer tour. Now we'll go back to the Jewish quarter, but please let nobody passes me. And
But we do have to stay together quickly. The
Yeah.
bus is waiting and we're going to pick up the other people.
How much money
We're
did
going
you
to
spend on construction and archaeological studies?
want
to picture this? I'm glad Lady gave me this.
Keep shooting.
I want to take this to class. Maybe Mrs. is going to let us watch it because it's all what we learned this year. Like big, huge summary, but we learned this year. Like, I don't see that you're taking pictures.
Okay.
We can't go this way. We have to go back.
Turn around and go back.
Should I take this out?
You can open it.
Go back.
And now if you fall, I'll pick you up on the next tour.
No. No.
Water under here? Maybe some should be get the right angle.
Quickly, please.
This is no longer the new tunnel?
We're going backwards the way we came. Now.
Keep blushing.
תצלמי אותה את המותק הזאת. מה קורה? נתן.
Here we're gathered in the bay, inside, taking a picture. These are our
So how many years? Plus you come in with
You're gonna have a party tonight. I've just got
רק נדמה לנו שאנחנו
בסדר, בהתחלה רוצה להנהיג את מה שהייתי רוצה לנוח, לא משנה שזה.
אני רוצה לשאול אותך, את יודעת כמה היי טכנולוגי.
And then you can do it. Like this is the long.
ברוכים הבאים לארזות רותם. אנחנו רוצים להתחיל בטקס הכנסת ספר תורה. אני ספר התורה. הרב הראשי לצה"ל, אלוף משנה הרב נחשון. מזכיר איגוד ישיבות ההסדר, הרב אברהם ברוק. נוביץ', מכובד. ידידיה.
Now you can say something. Say hi to Mom and Dad. Everybody's fine. They want to know that you're fine too. Are they treating you good here? Okay. And you're glad to participate in the Toronto Beit HaSefer's contribution of a Torah to the Army base.
פיקוד המרכז ממהר, ולכן אנחנו נתחיל במסכת הברכות. אני מזמין את מפקד חיל החינוך והנוער, תת-אלוף רן גלינקה, לברך את המעמד ואת התורמים.
אלוף פיקוד המרכז, ראש המועצה דוד לוי, הרב רבינוביץ', הרב ברון, התורמים ג'ק כהן ומר יוסף רוזנפלד, מפקדים, רבנים, אורחים מכובדים ואחרונים, חיילי, תלמידי היאחזות רותם. אחרי שאנחנו רואים, אחרי שאני רואה שמחה כזאת, שירה, ריקודים, כמעט ולא נשאר להגיד דבר. השמחה הזאת מדברת בעד עצמה, וכל מילה נראית קטנה ומיותרת. למרות זה, אני רוצה להודות ולהדגיש שהאירוע הזה למעשה בימים אלו ממחיש בצורה אמיתית את היכולת לבצע שילובים, ובתנאי שתהיה נכונות, שיהיה רצון, שיהיה יושר וכנות.
כל האורחים הנכבדים, כל הרבנים וראשי הציבור, כל אחד לפי כבודו ומעלתו, ואחרונים חביבים, מי שמחזיק עכשיו, מי שמחזיק במשך השנה את המקום הזה. היה לנו אתמול ערב חם מהמדורות של ל"ג בעומר. יצא לטוס לתרגיל בים המלח, לחצות את כל המדינה, וכולה הייתה זרועה גם בדרך הלוך וגם ב2 בבוקר, מדורות. ויש לנו גם היום יום חם, אם כי מסיבות קצת שונות. ולמרות שהיום הוא יום לא פשוט, מאוד השתדלתי ואני שמח שהצלחתי להגיע לכאן, קודם כל לכבודה של המצווה של הכנסת תורה, ולכבוד ההבטחה שניתנה לאנשים הטובים שנאספו כאן. ל"ג בעומר יש לו פנים רבות, ולצעירים ביותר, ילדים כאן, במידה רבה חג של מדורות. למה משים מדורות בל"ג בעומר? יש הרבה גרסאות, ואחת מהן אומרת שהתלמידים של רבי עקיבא נגפו במגפה בגלל הפירוד שהיה ביניהם. אין דבר חשוב לביטחון העם מאשר אחדות העם. ואחדות העם הזאת שנשמרת בצה"ל לדוגמה. תסתכלו ימינה ושמאלה תרתי משמע, ותראו איך אנחנו מצליחים לקיים בצבא, לא בלי מאמץ, אחדות עם לדוגמה. הדבר הזה חשוב מאוד להמשיך לשמור אותו. הוא לא מובן מאליו, הוא לא נעשה מאליו. הוא משתמר בצבא ראשית כל, כי הצבא מאפשר, צבא הגנה לישראל, מפגש של אנשים שונים מכל חלקי העם. לא כל חלקי העם מגיעים לצבא, אבל מכל חלקי העם מגיעים לצבא הגנה לישראל. והמפגש הזה הוא מפגש עם ייעוד ברור, משותף לכולם, לתת ביטחון לעם. To the people here, actually the people of Israel. Everything that I've just said in Hebrew can be concentrated into some words. Actually the words that we are saying every day after or by the end of the blessing after the meal. You all know we said, Adonai oz la'amo iten, Adonai varech et amo b'shalom, which is, may the Lord give strength to his people, may the Lord bless his people with peace. We all believe that if we'll be strong enough, and strong oz in Hebrew, meaning being strong, having security, also having courage, and above all, be united, all the people in Israel together. Amen. If we'll continue to be strong in that way, I'm sure it might take time, but finally God will bless all his people with peace. נסכם ונאמר שאם נמשיך לשמור על האחדות הזאת,
האלוף ומפקד חיל החינוך והנוער צריכים לטוס. אני מזמין את מפקד חיל החינוך והנוער לתת מגן מחווה לנציגי התורמים מטורונטו, מר רוזנפלד ומר כהן. בבקשה.
שלום לכולם. כבוד הרבנים, המפקדים, אלה שנשארו, ואחרונים חביבים חיילי אחזות רותם. כשהממשלה החליטה להקים את האחזות, זה היה משהו כמו לפני למעלה מ10 שנים. היא לא החליטה.
תכנה אותם שישבו פה, שהחלום מתגשם. אני מזמין את מנכ"ל הפועל המזרחי העולמית שסייע ושידך בין טורונטו לבין ההאחזות והגיע לכאן הספר התורה, את מר סוליד סאקס. בבקשה.
לכבוד הרבנים, מפקדי צה"ל, חיילים בבסיס, וחברינו, the guests from Toronto, from Canada, who've come with us. רק בשני משפטים אולי להגיד לכם וגם להודות לרב אלמליח שג'ק קון, הנשיא שלנו מקנדה, התקשר אליי ואומר שיש לו ספר תורה, ברוך השם, עם המשפחות מהנרי זלניק שיושבים פה, משפחת ג'לניק והורוביץ, שהם היו התורמים שעמדו אחרי הספר תורה. כל ילד בקנדה שתרם את הכמה דולר שלו כדי לכתוב אות או כמה אותיות בספר התורה, ושג'ק התקשר אליי ואמר שיש לו ספר תורה, מה עושים איתו? כאילו, אז אנחנו התייעצנו עוד כמה חברים, דובי טל וזה, והחלטנו שזה יהיה המקום המתאים להביא את הספר תורה, כאילו לתת לכם לבסיס פה מתנה, ספר תורה שכתבו אותו הקהילה היהודית בקנדה, כל האנשים, פרויקט של המזרחי, ואני מברך כל אלה שעזרו לנו, וממש מיוחד של הרב אלמליח, שאנחנו מכירים אותו מחידון התנ"ך עם הנשיא התנועה העולמית של המזרחי, עם דוקטור בורג, שהוא עובד הדוק איתו. הרב אלמליח, Jack and the friends from Canada, is the one in charge of the International Bible Quiz with Dr. Burg as the chief judge, prepares the Bible quiz and all the questions. ואני מאוד מודה לך הרב אלמליח, ראש המועצה מר דוד לוי וחברי דובי טל גם כן. In 2 words in English, it is our great honor today, my friends. We've gone through a great simcha of the Haknasat Sefer Torah and Lag BaOmer here in the Jordan Valley, close to the border with Jordan, in this wonderful place to give in and to bring the Sefer Torah. We welcome you here. We praise you for this great effort, for this great mitzvah that you have undertaken, and bringing the Sefer Torah all the way from Toronto, giving it to this basis Nachal, to this basis of the army here, and you've been honored by the attendance of Uzi Dayan, of the Sgana Rabbanut HaTzva'it, Rav Nachshon, and the others who are here with you today. It is now my great pleasure to call on Mr. Jack Kahn, the President of Mizrahi of Canada, to say a few words.
כבוד הרבנים, כבוד הרב Dayan, distinguished members of Sahal who are here today. Several months ago, Mizrahi had a dream to do something special in honor of the 50th anniversary of Medinat Yisrael. And so we came up with this beautiful program by which the children of Toronto would commission the writing of a Sefer Torah. But we needed 2 very special ingredients. We needed someone special to organize and plan the entire project. And in that, we were very lucky. in having Mr. Jerry Rosenfield to come forward and organize the program. The other special ingredient we needed was a family to sponsor the program. And that was also very simple, because it's very hard to find in Toronto a family such as the Zelenik, Markovich and Jelinek family, whose dedication to Medinat Yisrael is well known. And indeed, we were honored to have them as our sponsors. Thousands of children throughout Toronto contributed towards the Sefer Torah, and today we have representing the Toronto schools the children who are sitting in front of you here today. They represent the thousands of children who have dedicated to Sefer Torah, Zecher Nishmas, all the Chayalim who gave their lives defending Medinat Yisrael over the past 50 years. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of those here in Israel who put this program together for us.
לכתיבת הספר תורה, ויש פה נציגות של כמה ילדים שבחרו בהם כדי לבוא להציג אותם פה, לייצג אותם פה בארץ ישראל. ויש לי הכבוד, I will now call on two of the kids to speak, representing all the others from Canada, two who've come here. First, Reuben Spence. Will you please come up and say a few words? Okay, and then Aliza Jessen, also. The other kids can come and stand with him if you want. Yeah, the two kids will say a few words.
Dear officers of the Israel Defense Forces, my name is John Spence. We represent thousands of day school and supplementary school students in Toronto, Canada, who have commissioned the writing of this Sefer Torah. We come from different schools with different ideologies, but we came together united as one people with a common love of our state of Israel and with an appreciation for the importance of Torah in the life of the Jewish people. We present this Sefer Torah to the Israel Defense Forces in memory of all who fell defending the state of Israel and in memory of Simcha Zelenik and Alexander Jelinek of blessed memory. We pray that God will soon bring the day when our people will be able to live in true peace and security so that our soldiers will rely more on this Torah and less on their weapons. We thank you for agreeing to meet us this afternoon.
כבוד הרבנים וכבוד אלוף פיקוד מרכז, אנו מייצגים כאן אלפי תלמידים מטורונטו, קנדה, שתרמו לקראת כתיבת ספר תורה זה. פרויקט זה נוצר על ידי ארגון מזרחי בטורונטו. כמעט כל בתי הספר, הן היומיים והן של אחר הצהריים, מכל הזרמים כאיש אחד בלב אחד, כאות וסמל לאחדות עם ישראל בקהילה שלנו ובכל העולם. אנו מבינים חשיבות תורת ישראל לעם ישראל בגולה ובארץ ישראל, כי הם חיינו ואורח ימינו. ולכן זכותנו היום להעביר ספר תורה זה לצה"ל, לעילוי נשמות הקדושים שנפלו בהגנת מדינת ישראל, ולזכר נשמות שמחה זלנק ושמואל ג'לנק, זיכרונם לברכה, שמשפחותיהם הן שעמדו מאחורי הפרויקט הזה מההתחלה. יהי רצון שנזכה ליום שאחינו בצה"ל יעזרו יותר בתנ"ך ובתורה מאשר בנשק, ושיהיה לכל עם ישראל שלום אמיתי עם ביטחון.
Joseph Rosenfeld, Simcha Zelenik first and then, okay, טוב, רב שמחה זלניק, בבקשה. He's killing me, this guy, yeah? Okay. You have to say that.
Thank you, thanks.
ברשות ושבתם איש ושבתם איש אל אחזוסו ואיש אל משפחתו תשובו. The parak then continues with the words, Ki yovel hi kodesh tieh lachem. You shall sanctify the Jubilee year, for the Jubilee year will be holy for you. How appropriate it is that on this, the Shnas HaYovel, the 50th anniversary of Medinat Yisrael, we have all come to Hakdosha. This Shnas HaYovel is indeed the most holy for us, that when we have come from Toronto to be with you, our families and friends, on this very special occasion of the Sefer Torah dedication. This Sefer Torah project would not have begun without the leadership of Mizrahi Toronto, who organized thousands of students. This project joined together students from all the different Jewish day schools, regardless of their religious or political beliefs. As well, this Sefer Torah is dedicated in memory of my grandfathers Simcha Zelenik and Alex Jelinek, by the Zelenik, Jelinek, and Markowitz families, and in memories of all the soldiers that have fallen while defending the state of Israel. We say every Shabbos, V'chol mi she'oskim b'tzarchi tzibur be'emunah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu yeshalem sacharam. And all of those who are involved faithfully in the community, may HaKadosh Baruch Hu pay their reward. The Beis Yosef notes that these charitable causes are mentioned so that the entire community know the great reward that is involved. May the entire community of Toronto learn a lesson from this most amazing act of Achdus and Chesed that has taken place. I would finally like to thank you, the Chayalim, who have offered us the opportunity to come here and let us be a part of the Shnas HaYovel celebrations. We truly feel that it is a great zchus to be here with you at this most special time. Thank you.
אנחנו תחת לחץ מהרבי אלמליח פה. האחרון של הדוברים שלנו, the last of our speakers, Yosef Rosenfeld, the organizer of this project, just to say a few words.
כבוד סגן רב ראש צה"ל, כבוד הרבנים, כבוד אלוף פיקוד מרכז, מפקדי צה"ל, כבוד מר יעקב קאן, נשיא מזרחי בקנדה, כבוד משפחות זילניק, ג'לניק ומרקוביץ שתמכו בפרויקט החשוב הזה, רב אברהם ברון, מר סולי סקס, מוריי ורבותיי. אני מודה לקדוש ברוך הוא שזכיתי להשתתף כיושב ראש המנהלים בטורונטו וכמרכז הפרויקט לזכות אלפי מתלמידי טורונטו, קנדה, במצווה של כתיבת ספר תורה. לא פשוט מפעל זה שאלפי תלמידים מהמון בתי ספר משתתפים בקניית אותיות. סופר נכנס לכל בית ספר ללמד איך כותבים ספר תורה וחשיבות המצווה. חגגנו סיום ספר תורה לפני 1,000 תלמידים בטורונטו ביום העצמאות, ועכשיו אנחנו עומדים כאן ברוך השם בל"ג בעומר בארצנו הקדושה. תלמידים אלה והוריהם מתלהבים משילוב קדושת העם, התורה והארץ והמדינה. מיוחד בזה לדעתי היא אחדות הקהילה בטורונטו, בלי פוליטיקה, ממש אהבת חינם למען התורה והמדינה, ממש כאיש אחד בלב אחד. Our love for Eretz Yisrael, Medinat Yisrael, and through our mutual respect, one for the other. Our achdut, modeled by the united effort of the entire community of Toronto, that we will soon hear the sounding of the great shofar, when the lost ones will return Mishnei HaMuvanim, physically and spiritually, and see the rebuilding speedily in our time of the Beit HaMikdash, Ken Yeh Ratzah.
ראש הישיבה, הרב רבינוביץ', רבנים, ראשי מטיבתא, מפקדים, ראשי הציבור, ראש המועצה, מועצה הדתית, ראשי הקהילה היהודית בטורונטו, מר סולי סקס, התורם, מר זלניק ומשפחתו, הילדים החביבים שהגיעו מקהילת טורונטו, והם בעצם נציגים של אלפי יהודים, אלפי ילדים כמוהם.
Of whom I was privileged to know, don't want to say how many years ago. You'll suspect that my gray hair is really gray. It is for me a very special privilege to welcome you and to thank you. It is a special privilege in many ways. To come here and see this project, which was undertaken as an experiment in cooperation initially between our yeshiva and the Misrad HaBitachon, and consequently a number of other yeshivot that joined us. It is an experiment in creating a new reality in Israel. And we owe a special debt of gratitude to two of our finest Talmidim who are officially in charge of this place. And I think that all of us should give them a big hand. They are the two commanders, right? Tal Cohen and Yoshua Rosenberg.
Basic training, which is about 6 weeks, down in Eilat. And then we moved to another base, also in Eilat, where we took theory, tank theory, where we sat in classrooms all day and learned how to be a tank. Each one was divided into his position in the tank. There's the commander, there's the driver, the loader of the shell. In tank school.
Driver. Yes, two first you see? Yes,
or direct hit from another tank.
Hold on.
Okay, we can take this tank as an example here, where we see the head walking up there. That is where the commander stands by in the tank. He's usually out of the tank, looking out, and he has binoculars, and he has his own personal gun, because in addition to the tank's gun, the commander has his own personal, to the right, where there's another gun there. You can't see it, but there's another hole there, actually where he's passing by right now. That's where the loader can stand. Sometimes when the loader has to load the tank, he goes inside and loads. That's where the driver goes in. The gun up there, to the right is where...
So who wants to play up? Hassan. חבר'ה, תעזרו להם להיכנס עם הרגע שירות, תחתכו וייצאו.
Aliza? Okay.
בזהירות אבל, הסמך אומר בזהירות. הסמך אומר בזהירות.
No way.
You can go in, Menashe, you can go in.
I can't get out.
Come on, come on, go in. Here. Right here.
Dad.
Go ahead. Yes? Right from there? I don't think so.
Oh wait, here.
Shoshana, come right up.
Oh God.
Please don't do it. Let us go through this children's memoir. Go right around the group and go right in.
גרמניה. דבורה צוקר, 10 years old, Poland. רוזלין מצר, בת 12, צרפת.
בנימין שפר, בן 15, פולין. זלדה פאקר, בת 9, ליטא. אברהם מרשלקוביץ', בן 2, פולין. אנדרי הרצוג, בן 7, צ'כוסלובקיה. רוזה טזרדס, בת 16, יוון. דוד מנטוביץ', בן 14, יוגוסלביה. יהודית שטיינר, בת 7,
Come this way, please. I was here. I identified. I don't forget. This is a very difficult visit this morning. Difficult on the adults as much as on the children. But we have to do it because we dare not forget. They have to know that we remember them. We're here perhaps. We have to be thankful that
תגיד שלום יוסי. ודן, תגיד שלום לשלמה גם כן.
הכנתי פה, מה שתגידו. למה שם אנחנו? זה לא לשיר את זה שם.
אז פה.
תבואו עם האוטו.
This is my sister.
אל תגידי לנו. אבל זהו שאנחנו נראה לכם.
אמא שירותי.
הייתי פה בבאה האחרונה בברית שלו.
אתה רוצה שנזכור?
כן, אמרת אתם מביאה אותם.
פה אביחי.
הם באו לבד.
מה? אבל אני אקח אותו באוטו.
דבי.
רגע, אבל איפה האוטו שלך?
שלום דוד.
האוטו שלי פה במקום לא.
תעשי כמצלמה.
Ooh, it's beautiful here.
לא הייתה פה.
When did you arrive?
לא, נכנסה עכשיו עם...
אני בטיול עם הבת שלי.
בטיול, don't say טיול. טיול is... how shall we say?
טיול? טיול.
It's a yud and a vav.
רותי, משפיעה.
זה נחמד, רעיון יפה. בדרך כלל יש לנו, אנחנו מבעירים כאלה.
היום פחדנו
באתם מפה?
כן.
פה למעלה?
כן.
אז חכו שם, אני אאסוף אתכם.
אנחנו שם.
We go up? Ooh. Technology, why? For what?
But it's an advanced country. It's not Canada.
I know. Well,
Look how people live.
Shooting in the light. Not a good I
Look up.
What is this here?
Very tough.
This is a house? What is this? This is just a house? Okay.
It's more impressive from the other side of
Impressive enough. Well.
This is what is called here Dutch Street. You have it? I don't know why.
Flowers.
American Tony.
Well, that's what it looks like. And this is big. Nothing center. I'm doing all this for you, Aaron. Take a picture.
Very windy today. So this is called the Tena.
Okay. I wonder if it'll go through the... It's too distorted. There's another one.
Come here.
Oh my God.
The new synagogue. More big houses. This is another school. On the left side.
Nice homes. Could be in Toronto already, where we're staying. So gorgeous here.
Up there, it's a lunch boot.
Where's the lunch booth?
Up over here. You have the sun, and this is also
לא, בסוף הוא אומר אמורה, מסקנה, 4 שורות. נגמר העניין.
מה נערכת בליבה?
אבל אתה לא אוהב אותה עם המתן?
מה לבשת?
לא למדס?
בגלל עבודה.
אני לא
מה הוא יעשה?
אתה הולך להתקלח. לחפוף את הראש. אל תגזימי.
אבל למה בלי נפיים?
הוא הבר מצווה פה. תגיד שלום. למירב. לא, I didn't get Michal. Michal. כמה? אני 17. 17. ומה השם שלך? אני מיכל. מיכל? שלום. זהו, הנה עכשיו שם. יונתן תגיד שלום, יונתן.
מה יש לי?
יונתן תגיד שלום.
חברה שלך.
חמק, אתה חמק.
לא רציתי, בסוף ייקחו את
לעולם, זה נקודש לחול, בין אור לחושך, בין ישראל עמים, בין יום שביל שלי והמעשה. ברוך אתה אדוני, עמדו לקודש לחול.
So now you see, in a matter of 15 minutes, this room now looks like this. It's all changed. You wouldn't believe the family got together 1, 2, and...
הגעתם בדיוק כשהכל מוכן.
היא אמרה שתעשה פרונג'ה.
נו, אז שבו, תוכלו לשתות משהו. כן, ישבנו, בואי נלך.
אם הוא יפתח את זה, אני לא נגעתי בדבר הזה. הנה, אתה רואה? למה?
יונתן עכשיו...
איפה סגור?
יאללה, שבוע טוב.
לא רק, זה בגלל הקשר, כי אני עושה ככה.
הכביש סגור.
תרדי.
למה
די, תפסיקו נבין. זהו. כץ פמילי.
איזה יופי.
אבל מה, אם מצלמת אתם לא צריכים לעמוד בשקט.
לא, יש לה מצלמה גם כן.
תודה משפחה כץ, בשביל הכל. Wait, now you can say. I had to wait a minute.
Best regards.
Thank you. And thank you for having us over. It's so odd. I mean, I must say we came to the Steinbergs at this ungodly hour. I don't know even what time it is, because time is irrelevant. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful here.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, and the mishpacha that we didn't meet. We have to take pictures.
Take pictures of the pictures.
Oh, look at this. The little one. Ah!
Two babies.
2 already? When did you? Oh yeah, you told me when.
Yeah. And 2 more on the way.
2. Oh gosh. Oh, it's so lovely here. Okay, Erin. Sorry you're not with us.
Yes,
but here,
we miss you.
But
All
here
of
you
you.
see, we are here. This is real. We did make it. He was saying you have to visit this one, you have to see that one. He gives me a tochnik.
But he hasn't been.
And
he hasn't
himself.
been himself.
He hasn't been here for a while.
Do I remember when what?
When what?
What were you saying? You said,
Oh, my camera, the picture was shot last week, and it fell over into the waterfall.
What?
Yeah, but we couldn't really come over to see it. Good. I speak to my grandfather, but he got me back to my son. So he's there, you know, camera and everything before I got in. So he did. Okay, now it's a picture.
Oh, is that when it's flashing these weird...
It's approximately like $8 a day that I'm earning. $8 a day.
The Sharover Plaza or Haas Promenade, whatever they call the place, which is a nice overview of the old city. What happens is like this. June 5th, 1967, we attacked the Egyptians. Why do we attack the Egyptians? Because they did an act of war. What was the act of war? No. They closed the Straits of Suez. So we attacked the Egyptians. What? And they made the UN withdraw from Sinai. They did more than one thing that was considered an act of war. Now, if that's the case, so we attacked them. Fine. We did not have any plans to attack the Jordanians. We did not have any plans to attack the Syrians, or any desire. 9 o'clock in the morning, the Jordanians from positions on Mount of Olives start shelling the new city, Jerusalem, all over. We send messages through the UN, through the US. We're not involved. Don't do this. What then happens is, it might be an idea to get the lady inside up on my cell phone. Then what happens is like this. 1 o'clock, the Jordanians move into the High Commissioner's palace, let's call it, which was where the UN had all their forces in the area to keep the peace between us, and tie up the UN soldiers. They, like this, tie them up and gather them in the courtyard. We could see this from one of our positions overlooking. the Jordanians did that. So that was already seen by Israel, even though the artillery shows as an act of war, no question. But that was seen by Israel as, red lights went on in the high command. Now, what was the problem? We knew we were going to war with the Egyptians, right? So the night before, they took the one paratrooper force under Motagur, who was a Jerusalemite, that was supposed to be in reserves to defend Jerusalem, from the area near Shar Hagai, where they were encamped, off to be a reserve force for the Gaza Strip, right? Because that was one of the areas where they anticipated the heaviest battles going into Gaza. So they're over there. We had nothing here. Now, along the border, which is a 7-kilometer border in the Jerusalem area, on any given day when there was a peaceful situation, we had 57 soldiers stationed here. That's it, 57 soldiers in different outposts and places. That's what we had to defend Jerusalem on that morning, because even the paratroopers weren't there. So it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we see this is happening, so what do? They start a call-up of the Jerusalem Brigade. The Jerusalem Brigade basically are people my age, because these were people who fought in 48 or fought in 56. And they were at their offices and at work, and they had not been called up, some of them at least. And some of them had, but some of them had not been called up yet, for whatever reason. So they called people at work. This started around 1 o'clock. By 2 o'clock, they got together a big fighting force. So let's see, Elizabeth, how many people do you think was in the big fighting force?
15.
1,000, and you said 15. You're much closer. 80 people. 80 people, 3 old Sherman tanks, World War II vintage, and 2 Jeeps. Okay, that's what we attacked in that area, which is far from here. By 7 o'clock at night, we had secured the whole area against a force of 2,000 Jordanian troops. We lost 3 men in the battle. Okay, that's just giving you minor details. Now, what happens? At this point, we realize we got a big battle here in Jerusalem, and we should do something. So the paratroopers are brought back. They get here at about 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning that night, being brought back to the Gaza Strip. Now, their immediate mission that they were given was to take this hill. And why to take this hill? Because in that direction, you can't see it because of the trees and the like. By the way, there's 183 olive trees here around Ammunition Hill. 183 soldiers died in the battle for Jerusalem in the Six-Day War. Those are the olive trees, correct. The shorter guys, not these big. Okay, so there's 183 of them. Now, so what happens? What's over there that we need to go that way? Over there is Mount Scopus, Harat Sophie, which was an area totally surrounded by the Arabs, which we had control of for 19 years. There was a UN convoy that escorted our guys once every 2 weeks, back and forth, and that's how we kept the position there. Now, what were we afraid of? Here the Jordanians have attacked, and it's true, we secured an area, but we didn't know what their intentions were. What would be their logical target? There are a couple dozen soldiers up there on Harat Sophie. So the paratroopers were given the mission to start basically down there. The school building that you see over here wasn't existed back then. To start just on the other side, come up and take this position, Ammunition Hill, which is a Jordanian post manned by about 80 Jordanian soldiers with an ammunition depot here, so there's a lot of ammo. On the next hill right up over there, which we call Givat HaMitar, was a Jordanian army base with hundreds of soldiers and artillery. So it made the mission all that much more difficult. Now the paratroopers attacked, they split into 4 groups. One group went to take those 2 little buildings that are now renovated. And those buildings used to be a police station, they're now scouts of Israel. So big. Okay? So, like Boy Scouts. I don't think they have Girl Scouts, but it could be. Maybe it's a His and a Hers building. I really don't know. But that's where the Scouts now have their headquarters. So one group's to take that. One group was to get through the barricades. There's barbed wire and landmines and all that. And 2 groups were to take here. Okay? We're not dealing with a huge number of soldiers. We're dealing with about, attacking here, the two groups of soldiers, you're dealing with maybe 100, 120 soldiers attacking here. But that was already a big fighting force compared to the 80 guys that took the other area. The way they attacked, they basically came up. You see where that sort of like a grassy grandstand is? They came along the path that way, and they tried to make their way into the trenches. Now you see these trenches around here, going all around the hill, and you can see that it's very hard to attack a place like this. They did it at 2 in the morning. It's pitch black. Motagur has just done a study about is it worthwhile to in house-to-house or close-quarter combat to wait for the Air Force and the tanks or not. His study said not, so that's why he attacked at 2 in the morning. It didn't pay to wait for the Air Force, it didn't pay to wait for tanks. There was one tank, you see it out over there, that, also an old World War II Sherman, that was used in the battle, but that only came in at about 6, 7 in the morning. The major part of the battle was without a tank and without anything to help. And it's trench warfare. This is the type of stuff they did in World War I, basically. Only the Israeli variation, where Israelis don't accept this concept of you can't fight trench warfare and just give up and you're going to have heavy losses. But we did have heavy losses. 57 guys, 56 or 57, died taking ammunition hill. Out of the 183, 1/3 basically died right here, taking it. Now, in the battle,
here we are in Ammunition Hill playing hide and seek. The kids got to hide and the adults had to find them.
And who was the first
I was hiding, right here in this corner. And as people walked by, they just peeked in and didn't see anyone. But Mummy is smart.
Don't go so
She
quickly.
came all the way in.
And I stuck my head in.
But if I was a Georginian, I would have shot her. On the ceiling, you can see some bullet marks.
Oh, lovely. I guess they got somebody in here.
And I think that this might be blood.
Oh, Lisa, let's go out of there. Ooh.
Hopefully Georginian.
Okay, let's just look down. Do you want to go down the trench a bit more and then back?
Sure. I guess not.
Oh, we're
going this way.
That's a good shot here. Well, this must have been where they were shooting at it.
You can see it over here.
So she won't go along, and Jordan soldiers came over here because they thought maybe operators are cheating us, and the UN come, and the whole thing around is only to give her that. So believing her out
Found mine.
No one
found us. We're like in the back right of the trenches.
I didn't know how long it was, so I just stopped. But your dad passed me. He wasn't
I
smart.
had my flash all set. I figured I was going to shoot him when they came in with my flash.
And they didn't know he found you?
Nobody found us either. We're heading right at the back.
Nobody found me, but if I was hiding there, I could have... No, my mom found me. It was so funny. I was hiding in the corner. 5 people walked by where I was standing, and they didn't see me.
We're heading all the way back there.
To Engedi.
When you went to where? Engedi?
And the sun and everything. We can't get in?
Okay, let's go in.
Let me take a picture.
Whose camera's here? Come on.
she does Russian. Okay?
No, English too, but...
English too, but I've got somebody else. Okay. What?
Put it back on the bus.
Okay, the exchange has been existing for 30 years. They now have 4 buildings and they've got connecting stuff that's keeps going right around. Okay. The movie's in English.
0 diamonds. You want 10 karat gold? You can afford it? Probably without any diamonds. No.
So what do you have to get?
Nothing. What do I want to get? There was one. I'm trying to look for it, actually. I'm getting very lost.
Those are very pretty.
There was one for like a necklace thing. It was really pretty. Just kind of versatile.
Take a picture of the $10,000, the $100,000 ring.
You know that's
Where is it?
You haven't seen the $100,000 ring?
You haven't seen the $100,000 ring, right?
Show me.
Okay, yeah. Let me get this for your life.
You got really get $100,000.
You see?
No, it's nice. I'd buy that. I had the money.
Yeah, you probably blindsided her.
$1,000.
This one's nice. I have one, something like this one.
Is that huge or what? I mean, if that little butterfly didn't have all those diamonds, I'd buy it.
You didn't have all those, yeah, you didn't have all those diamonds and gold. If it was plastic.
This way you can say you have it in your house.
Exactly. Where's the one I was looking at before?
You get $25,000.
Imma.
If you were considering shipping, you have to make a decision soon.
It's with diamonds. It's before the reduction. 1,000. More than half a carat diamonds inside. 0.60.
Beautiful mezuzah. Isn't that gorgeous?
Tom was saying earlier, he was watching the party going on. Is this where they put the
They don't have school in Muslim or it's a holiday.
Yeah, it's a holiday.
Having a lottery of the 66 first plots of land about by this neighborhood. The lottery was held right here. This is the way it looked like back then. You see the sand dunes? Okay? This is exactly how it was. 66 families, including Mayor Kizingah, was about the 66 families. He ended up, the way they did it was, it wasn't, that they planned for him to get this piece of property. At this point, he was still Shirtov. And I think this is Abba Hillel Silver, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Abba Hillel Silver, an American Jewish leader, representing the not yet existing Israeli state.
That's Canada.
And there's Canada.
What's this?
Oh, there's Canada. That's
China.
Cuba. China.
China probably.
China.
Okay, come on in.
Jews are under
There's Canada right there. Yeah, we're in that picture. Canada's right there. Wow.
Good job.
Did I hear that Britain abstained from supporting the resolution, or what about Canada? What did they do? Did they support?
Canada, I have no clue, but knowing Canada, I would say they probably support it.
Abstaining because
Okay. The map I want to show you people here is this map. There's a map over here. Not all of you can see it from that angle. So just come back a bit. This map over here shows you the partition plan of 1947. So many of you don't know what we're talking about. But the areas in the darker orange, that would have been the Jewish state, of which most of it is the Negev, which at that point, there was nothing in the Negev. No Mitzveh Ramon, no stable care, no Mashavei Sabeh. What? Canada voted yes?
Yes.
Here, this orange area here, and this orange area here were supposed to be for Israel. The lighter yellowish color was supposed to be for the Arabs. At this point, and at this point, were to be two connecting roadways, 50 meters of, let's call it, international patrol for us to get through to our sections and for them to get through to their sections. For sure, a traffic jam. Jerusalem, including Bethlehem, including all of Bethlehem, was supposed to be, over here, an international city, under UN auspices. They were going to continue control. We accepted the plan. The Arabs, the next day, responded by attacking. There was a bomb went off on a bus the next day in Israel, was killing the people, and that was seen as the first official Arab reaction to the partition plan. Okay, the pictures around here. First of all, this gun is very important. Let's get over here.
Then I'll take a picture.
This gun is called a Sten gun. We manufactured this gun in secret factories in Israel. It was taken off of the model of a British gun. The British are famous, and you've seen them before. This is the famous picture of the British High Commissioner leaving Palestine May 14th, 1948. And there's a picture of Ben Gurion here in the building room we're about to go into, in this building, declaring the state of Israel's independence. Before we go in, a few minutes about the Davidka. Here's up to the British as they were leaving. We did what was necessary. The Davidka was something we made. The Davidka didn't work, guys. But it did work. The Davidka was one of the most ineffective shells, with terribly inaccurate, didn't do much good. But the Davidka made the biggest noise. As our friend Saddam would say, the mother of all noises came from the Davidka. Now, this was used in particular to win the battle for Tzfat of Israel. Was a major center. It had Jews that were under siege, 2,000 Jews under siege, defended by about 120 soldiers of the Haganah against a force of between 2,000 and 4,000 Arabs under Kaufji, who came from Iraq, and Syrian soldiers as well. It was a combined Syrian-Iraqi force. What they called the Tzva HaTzalah, what's the Hatzil to say? The Redeemer, Savior force for the Arabs of Israel. Rescue force, that's it. The rescue force that was sent by the Saudis and the Iraqis. Not the Saudis, the Iraqis and the Syrians. Okay, in the battle for Tzfat, we lost soldiers. It was tough fighting. There was no question. And one of the things that happened, and this I know from somebody, a tour guide unfortunately died this past year, a friend of mine. He was a few years older than me. We were there back in 48. During the period when they were under siege, there was this area they'd go to, and they would shout curses in Arabic at the Arab women over the border. The Arab women shouted curses back in Yiddish. Because until 48, really, the two communities were very much connected. There was commerce, there was trade, and they got along quite well. It was basically because of this impending state, the Arabs in the world said to them, you got to fight the Zionists, so they made the situation hostile. When the Davidka was fired, and it made this huge noise, the Jewish women said in Arabic to the Arab women on the other side of the boundary, you hear that? That's the atom bomb. You know what an atom bomb is? Okay.
במלחמה עצמה, שהקרבות הקשים שלה היו לאחר טקס ההכרזה, היישוב היהודי מנה 600,000. לעומת 1,300,000 ערבים שישבו בארץ ישראל.
Fishman is here. Oh, Fishman, that's it. My mother. Fishman, same thing. Okay. What you have, yes, the gentleman over here was a representative of Mizrahi. Rabbi Fishman, also known as Maimon. He's the one who recites the bracha, the Shechianu. Did you hear it at the tape? You heard it in the Okay, this is where it all happens, right here. Guys, Jerusalem's under siege when this is happening. So if you look on the chairs here, you'll see there's a chair with no name, and here are 3 chairs with no name, because there were people of this temporary provisional government that couldn't make it. They were under siege in Jerusalem. They just couldn't get down here. The signatures of those people were added later. But now I have to tell you a story about the Gilad HaTzvot, about the actual document. Look at the pictures. When Ben Gurion is over here reading it, in any of the photos and in the film that we saw, he's reading from pieces of paper that are typed on a typewriter. He's not really reading, but it's an exact replica. It's the coloring, the signatures, everything. It's designed to look like, yeah. The original is actually that's what I keep. And if you look around again, you see pictures of, in particular here, the newspaper headlines of newspapers, many of which don't exist anymore. The only ones that do, Ma'ariv, Haaretz, and Hatzofeh. Okay? And the Palestine Post is now called Jerusalem Post. Okay, so that sort of exists. Hamishmar, Yom V'Yom, Hamashkif, Davar, all no longer exist. Okay, so that. Davar was the last one.
The New York Times still exists.
New York Times still exists. Yes, that's not in this country. We're talking.
So which still exists, the Jerusalem Post?
Well, it's now the Jerusalem Palestine. Haaretz, Ma'ariv, and Hatzofeh, the national religious publication. Well, yes. Okay, and we go, like I said, over here is Peter.
Oh, I recognize her.
Yes. And you went there. And you're living today already?
Say hi. שלום יהודית.
שלום. אנחנו מאוד שמחות לפגש. חבל שזה כל כך מעט זמן, אבל טוב, זה כלום.
ביד.
שלום וברכה, יהודית דיברה כבר גם בשבילי. אנחנו באמת שמחים. את נראית נפלא, אבל אנחנו מחכים לראות את האורבן. בדש חמה לכל המשפחה והרבה בריאות.
תודה, תודה. זה כל כך יפה פה. אתמול בלילה.
רגע, אני לא מכירה חלק
אחד הילדים שלה?
יש פה הרבה אנשים שאני לא מכירה. אז זהו, את אלה אני לא מכירה, ואת זה אני לא מכירה.
יש גם כן שם, הדוד שלי
והדוד שלה יש, מה אח של אמא שלה.
ואיזה דוד? הוא אנקל אליהו.
That's Lance. Brenda's.
That's who?
Lance.
Who is he?
Brenda's husband.
Brenda's husband. Where's Brenda here?
Brenda. We're right there. And that's Sarah.
איפה ברנדה? הנה זאת ברנדה, וזה בעלה שנראה טוב, בעלה של ברנדה.
כן, בעלה נראה טוב, איתם נראה טוב.
זה הבן של פול, איך הוא דומה לפול? יעקב.
Jerry and then Josh.
Where's Jerry? This is Jerry?
Yeah, it was Josh.
Oh, I would. רגע, איפה ברנדה? This is ברנדי. ברנדה, לא, זה בעלה.
תגידי, איפה ג'רי?
הנה.
ג'רי פה?
עם הבן שלו.
נורמן, רגע,
נורמן הגזם. נורמן, הנה נורמן. והנה אירון. פול, סליחה, הנה נורמן.
פול אני מכירה תמיד.
וזה הבן של פול, שאי אפשר לטעות.
זה הבן של פול?
Yaakov, you can't mistake him for Paul's son. He looks exactly. This is Yaakov, no?
That one's mine. This one's Yaakov.
She didn't come.
But look at this is Yaakov.
Okay. The one in this one.
This is Yaakov?
That's mine.
איזה יופי. מן המלון, holiday inn.
אני נפרדת משעון והכניסה. והיא רק עכשיו קונה עוד מסטיק. וציטקס בשביל אבא. אוקיי.
ביי לכולם.
ביי ביי. From Bruner, that is
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, this is Martha.
Who are you asking?
Martha Steiner.
Hello. I'm Anne Morehouse. My daughter is Elizabeth Morehouse Stein, and we were on the trip with Lisa and her mother. It was a wonderful time. Bye-bye.
Lauren. Hello. Lauren.
My name is John Spence. I am a loser.
And I'm Lauren Beerbaum.
No,
I
guys,
like to touch myself in obscene places.
Okay, I'm showing this to my family. I'm showing this to my family. Okay, ready? Oh, it's recording. This is a visual in it. Let them go. Let them go. It's okay, I know them.
My name is Lauren. Can you suck? My hair is screwed up, so don't worry.
John, say your name.
John.
John.
John Spence.
Say hi.
John Jacob. Hi. That is my name.
Hey, John, say your name.
Excellent. 70 degrees centigrade. Be sure.
Say your name.
Nice day, Toronto. Thank you for choosing it all.
In the Middle East, the peace summit due to take place in Washington on Monday has been canceled after Israel refused to accept a U.S. plan for the surrender of 13% of the West Bank. U.S. presidential envoy Dennis Ross has left Israel, having failed to secure Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's agreement to attend. A group of megacity students are en route to Israel tonight where they'll be meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The 9 kids from our Jewish community will also be presenting a special Torah to Israeli Defense Forces.
We have a siddur for everybody. Personalized.
I'm very excited because I know that this Torah is going to the Israeli Defense Force and I get to go to Israel, and it's a really special place for me and I'm very excited to go.
We hope and pray that the children will gain a love for the land. Some have been, some haven't been before. A love for the traditions which this Torah represents, and a love for the people.
The students were randomly chosen by the Toronto Youth Sefer Torah Project for this trip. Organizers say this is a way for the kids to celebrate Israel's 50th anniversary.